Welcome to another very special episode of the Prep Zone on DMV Stream. I'm John Moore with Rob Giampapa with Rubber Run Sports. We're joined this week by Coach Patrick Noel, South County Girls basketball coach. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Kind of give us a recap of the season. We talked at the beginning of the year and just kind of see how you felt the season went. And
It was one of the best seasons that the schools had. We had the third most wins in school history with 15. We finished off 15-8. Set the school record for longest winning streak. We had a 7-game winning streak going on towards the end part of the season. We had the program's first ever win against West Springfield, so that was exciting. We had a little stumble down towards the end of the season, didn't end up the way we wanted to. We ended up losing 3 out of our last 4. That doesn't take away from the successes that we did have, and it's still hard reminding myself of that, but we're definitely headed in the right direction with the program.
Terrific. Well, let's talk a little bit about, obviously, I saw Taylor Nason play several times, her and Sam Liano and Maddie Fonts. Tell us a little bit about losing them and how you're going to try to make up for that.
I mean, Taylor is a once-in-a-program, kind of player. She finishes her career with 984 points, 1,089 rebounds. I don't have her 4-year totals for steals, which is probably the school's leader in steals. You can never replace her. And so there's just so many things that she brings to the table with her leadership, with her athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just going to have to do it collectively, be it, Charlotte and Nalaya getting 2 or 3 extra rebounds a game. Naya and Andrea and Sabrina and Chloe getting a couple more, baskets throughout the game, or a couple more steals. So, it's one of those things that you're never going to have somebody else and come in and be the next Taylor Nason. There's not going to be anybody else like her. We graduate 5 seniors, and all of them played varsity basketball since 9th grade.
Right.
Megan, Maddie, and Taylor were all for South County, and then Demaya and Sam played at the schools that they were at in 9th grade. They played varsity basketball, so that's a lot of experience, and they all 5 of them played heavy minutes for us.
Yeah.
So we're going to be young next year. We're going to make young mistakes, but we have a lot of talent coming up, and we had we returned 7 girls who all got valuable experience in practice every day and in the games that they got. We've got a couple girls coming up from JV, and there's always the chance we could have another couple freshmen that are good enough to be up and contribute on varsity. So I don't want to say it's going to be a rebuilding year, because I definitely think and we expect that we'll be able to compete for the conference, but it's going to be a different year. We're going to have some different strategies in place based off of our personnel. We're going to be relying on our guards a little bit more for production. Nalaya is great. One of the best things that she does, though, is get offensive rebounds and putbacks. So our guards know that they have the green light as long as they catch it in rhythm and they're in their range. They shoot with confidence, and part of having that confidence is knowing that we've got Nalaya and Charlotte and Lily in there to crash the offensive boards and get us putbacks or kickouts.
Well, since you brought it up, I just wanted to ask you, Naya, as a freshman this year, she got a lot of time on the court. She got a lot of time handling the ball. How much did she gain from being able to play with Sam Liano, somebody that's very good at running a team that way?
It was really beneficial for her. We played her mostly at the 2 this year. That's where she started. But she was capable of running the 1. She was typically our sub at the 1. So we would pull her out first a little bit to get Demaya or Megan, give her a breather, and then she would come right back in to give Sam her breather. So she got a lot of good experience both running the 1 and coming and playing off the ball. So, that'll definitely help her with whatever we have coming up for next year. We can play her in different roles. You know, there were, I think, 4 or 5 games where she was our leading scorer. So, you know, we know she has that capability. She's going to be relied on a little bit more now because we don't have Sam to get us into our offense and to get others involved. And so, you know, next year is going to be a big learning experience for her with, you know, a lot of that responsibility coming down, you know, on her and managing the game as opposed to, you know, trying to be in attack mode more often. And, you know, one of the things that she got a lot better at this year was letting the game come to her. She's one of our best on-ball defenders, and so we always, you know, harp on her to make sure that she is playing her best defense and let the offense come to her. And she, you know, understands when to pick her spots and when to attack, when to look to shoot. But, you know, now next year it's also going to be when to get her teammates involved.
Okay.
Coach, a lot of coaches come into their jobs either when a coach who was there for a long time and was successful leaves, or a coach was not very successful for a while and then they leave. You kind of came in a unique way. You know, you guys had, I think, 3 coaches in 3 years before you came in. Talk about, you know, you've really done a great job of like developing the program, kind of put your stamp on it. Talk about gaining the trust of the girls in the program, knowing that you're going to be there after a year.
Well, thank you for that. You know, yeah, it was definitely tough coming in, being the 3rd coach in 3 years. You know, and this year was the first time any of our girls had the same coach 2 years in a row. And they definitely appreciated it first and foremost. They still, I'm sure some of them don't think that I'm coming back next year, no matter how many times I tell them. It's just ingrained in them. But, you know, it's definitely helped. And, you know, we starting to build the culture, and they didn't have to learn a whole new set of expectations, a whole new, you know, coaching system and philosophy. We were able to take what we did last year and build upon that. And, you know, that's what we're going to do for next year. Take what worked for us this year and build upon it. You know, one of the things, I think, one of the reasons we struggled down the stretch is we weren't used to being in that position. You know, I don't know if I blame you guys, but as soon as you guys put us in your top 20, then we lose 3 of our last 4. But, you know, that was something new for these girls. They weren't used to being, you know, in first place in the conference for most of the season. And so, you know, now these girls that are coming back, they have that experience. So hopefully if we're fortunate enough to get back in that position, you know, they'll be able to learn from some of the mistakes that we made, be it taking an opponent lightly or, you know, not coming to play or practicing to the best of our ability each day so that we can stay focused and, you know, achieve the goals that we're wanting to achieve.
Well, you're at South County. Obviously, it's a terrific athletic program at South County. What's it like coming in as a coach on that staff that's already, I mean, it's a tremendous staff that you have out there.
Could you explain that again? I'm sorry.
Coming onto the staff at South County, there's
As a
tremendous
teacher?
coaching, there's tremendous coaches, there's tremendous coaching. The athletic department is terrific. What's it like coming in as a coach there?
It's great. I mean, I wouldn't want to work for any other DSA than Leah. She's extremely supportive, you know, both from a coaching standpoint, from a teaching standpoint, from just a personal and life standpoint. She gets what we have here at South County, and she knows how great all of our sports programs can be, and she puts her coaches in positions to be able to succeed and is constantly looking for ways to help them grow and build each team's culture to kind of fit South County's vision. You know, and she got all of the staff one of the John Gordon books, just helping to build culture and relationships, things like that. And so you can tell that she's committed to building the success and continuing the success from the first 10 years of the school.
So take us to the off season now. What are you doing right now? What's coming up throughout the summer? Seems like you're not on vacation, so.
What off season, right? No, I mean, for us at South County, the spring is one of our lighter seasons. You It's the first chance that we get to work with the 8th graders that will be coming up. So Pat Deegan runs a great Fairfax Rising Freshman League that we actually just finished up our games last week. We went 6-2, so we're excited about the future of what's coming up through the pipeline. Most of our girls are playing AAU. We've been taking advantage of our green days, trying to get better. We tell the girls that from March until November is the time for them to be selfish, to work on their own games, and then once they hit November, it's to put those pieces together to fit the team. So we have meetings with the girls to discuss kind of what their weaknesses are at the end of this season. We tell them if they're the same weaknesses come tryouts, then you wasted your time.
Right.
And so we don't want them to try and become this great overall player between now and next season. We want them to take one or two things, and I tell them spend 85-90% of your time on those two things. And if you can do that year after year, by the time you're a senior, you're going to have 6 to 8 different skills that you're really good at.
Right.
So we've got our camp that will be the last week in July for girls that are going into 3rd through 10th grade. Registration's available, StallionCamps.com. And we do that. We're going to go down to Elon the last weekend in June, right after school gets out, for their team camp down there. So we're excited for that, just to get a completely different view of some of the basketball. I wouldn't imagine we'll see any teams from our area that we would see. Last year we went down to JMU and did well. We're looking forward to going down and seeing what North Carolina basketball is about. And then we hit conditioning pretty hard in August, and then fall we're 2-3 days a week getting ready for the season. So fortunately, we don't have too many girls that are playing a fall sport, so we get the majority of our girls in the gym with us 2-3 days a week. And this year, Coach Carlock, who's one of our assistants, he was with Coach Lockett before, and when I started, they were struggling to get 6-8 girls at their workouts. In this fall, I think we had one that we had less than 20 girls at our workouts.
Wow.
So that kind of goes to show that just that having the same coach over and over, and they bought into what we're trying to do. At our last Rising Freshman game, we had 5 out of our 7 coaches come in just to be there. It just shows that the coaches were invested in the girls, and it doesn't matter what level they're playing at. We're there to support them and get them better.
Excellent. Well, let me ask you, going back to this season, who are some players in the area that kept you up at night that you had to face? Who are some of the best players in the area that you had to go up against?
Shanice Ray from Mount Vernon gave us fits.
Yeah.
Shelby Haynes, I'm glad she's graduated. I still find myself replaying that end of the game play when she hit the layup to send our game into overtime.
Yeah.
That had a huge impact on the end of the season. That would have given us, had we pulled that out, that would have given us the 1 seed. Then we wouldn't have had to deal with Shanice in the playoffs. Katie Garish from Annandale. She's going to be a force next year, and they've got some good young guards around her. I think they're going to be tough. TC only graduated 1 girl.
Yeah.
So I think they're probably going to be looked at as one of the favorites, especially given that they pulled out the win against West Springfield in the championship. But I think we got some good girls coming back too that other teams are going to be worried about.
Absolutely.
Last question. Are you getting any of the Steph Curry syndrome out of the girls? Are you getting your forwards trying to cross over and take 30-foot three-pointers?
I think they know better at this point. We tell them that their shot is a good shot or a bad shot the second it leaves their hand. It has nothing to do with whether or not it goes in.
Right.
And that's something that we'll chart during practices. We'll chart, is it a good shot? The best shots are obviously open layups, but then we also have open jump shots. And our girls they're aware. They don't take too many uncontested shots. So the thing that, now we harp on them is make sure that they're shooting it in rhythm. They're stepping into their shot. If they don't catch it cleanly, don't shoot it. Make the extra pass. But no, not too many that have the Steph Curry syndrome. Taylor probably would be the only one that has that. But mostly in practice is when we'd see it, and during our lighter times we may see that. Other than that, I have the Steph Curry syndrome.
I had it the other day and it didn't work out too good.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, are there any coaches in the area that you lean on or that you go to for advice or talk to kind of in the off season? You guys kind of talking?
Any chance you can talk with Pat Deegan, you're going to come away with something good. He isn't one of the most all-time winningest coaches in Virginia history for no reason. So, and that's why we came to his holiday tournament this year. We go to their Rising Freshman League tournament. Between him and Amanda Baker from Langley, I'm in contact with quite often here and there. So those are probably the two that I'm in touch with the most. Those two, and Liz Reed from TJ.
Gotcha.
All right, well, Coach, thanks for coming on. We hope to see you for our winter preview show.
Absolutely.
And good luck the rest of the way this summer in the off season.
All right.
And for Rob, I'm John. You can see us on DMVSTREAM.com and at RubberRunSports.com, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Cool. Excellent.